Hi, good afternoon. Uh, a lot of you fashion retailers in this room. I think in the last few years, we've been, when we talk of our business, we talk of things like key performance indexes, this metric, cash flows, P&L, inventory turns, stock turnover ratio, and so on and so forth. In a business conference, there's no place for using a word like love and emotion because that's not what we're here for. But you look closely at fashion and what all of us are actually selling to our customers, we're actually selling joy. And emotion is at the heart of everything that we sell. We can't get away from this. And I think the more we talk of human emotion and psychology, it'll keep us grounded because the artificial intelligence and the machine learnings and the chat GPTs of the world, the buzzwords will keep changing every year. Fundamentally, what is it that we are selling? I'm sure most of you follow cricket, but I found an interesting statistic that the number 6, 7, and 8 batsmen, which is Akshar Patel, Jadeja, and Ashwin, have scored 3 times the number of runs in this series as the top 5 batsmen, leaving out your captain. Well, captain ko to run banana hi hai, that's why he's captain. Why am I telling you this? Because, even in retail and fashion, we've started adjusting our minds to saying that, 40% of my business will come from EBOs, 30 will come from shop-in-shops, 20 will come from brand factories, and then, maybe 7 or 8% will come from online. Now, mentally, in your hierarchy, if you put online at the bottom, you can imagine that itself destroys your focus because you've not gathered in your mind how much headroom is there to grow because you're seeing it as a subset of the overall performance of the company. And I would suggest in your plans next year, look at online as a separate channel altogether and don't look at it as a subset. Our customers, when they're happy, they want to shop. When they're sad, they want to shop. You want to make someone feel special, you buy something for them. Finally, your point of completion or happiness is the purchase itself. In the good old days, after 7:38, if you want to feel happy, you grabbed your bottle of wine or alcohol, but now you can shop online. It doesn't matter where you are. So suddenly it's become locationless in that sense. Legacy versus digital retail, there's a fundamental change that happens to your customer's relationship with your brand. And this is something that we need to understand and appreciate better than we do currently. First of all, when we look at stores, we've always focused on collection. What is the looks going to be like? How many looks are we going to have? But when you go digitally and your customer is looking at your website or your digital storefront, she's no longer buying collections. She's not buying a complete look. She's buying individual products. She's looking for t-shirts, skirts, dresses, shoes, socks. She's got to be able to find that early. And she will coordinate your products with other brands, which is not how it used to be in the past. Secondly, you have to understand that in our customer, until 10 years ago, used to come into our stores, our physical environment, our atmospherics. So we controlled, they were a captive audience. But today, whereas the customer was in the brand environment, you have to realize and appreciate, now the brand is in the customer's environment. That customer is sitting at home, she's at work, she's in the hospital room tending to her mother, but you're in her environment, and her mindset, you are in her environment, and she's in control. She's no longer a captive customer to you. The entire experience that you created for your brand in a physical store, you have to be able to somehow simulate it on your brand store online. And how well you do it makes it important. We always spoke as retailers as square feet, square meter stores. Suddenly the real estate is 8 inches by 4 inches, it's come down to square millimeters. That is the real estate that you and I play with. And finally, in your store, you told your customer, you told your staff, upsell. Try and sell the more product to this customer. But in case of online, you need to get them to check out, and the suggested selling process becomes completely visually engineered and not in person. Let's go further and understand even the ownership of the environment. Okay, the location now is no longer the location of the store, it's the location of the mobile phone itself. All our stores were built to be browser-friendly, so the customer journey was curated by you. In case when you're going online, if you're going to make a site where you're expecting the customer to spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes, browse through the site, you're going to lose that customer. When you're doing your own website, you've got to make sure the customer finds what she's looking for, is able to check out as quickly as she can. You don't have the time to play around. In a store, a customer can try a product, but suddenly online, the entire thing is visually stimulated. You've got to be able to tell the customer through your models, through your product description, through the way you shot your brand, on how the product can be worn. So the entire onus becomes very, very different. The entire process becomes different. Like I said, the customer is no longer captive on the online. They're working on multiple tabs. And lastly, I think it's also an important thing. If you remember 8-10 years ago, we used to tell customers who shop for our clothes, why don't you go and like our pages on Facebook and Instagram? And you would give the stores a target. Today, customers like your Instagram and Facebook pages much before they bought your brand. They start following you, they start dating you until they decide that one day they're going to come and marry you. So the entire process has changed. You're building trust from followers rather than the other way around. There are some very popularly held beliefs with most of us, and these popular beliefs have changed. The last 2 years of COVID has completely changed the way customers behave. From 2007 to 2018, marketplaces were all selling at discount. They were fighting with each other to get a share of the customer. In the last 1 year, discounting with a lot of brands have come to below 20%. So no longer is a customer coming to your website only to shop for discounts. In fact, the more the brand knows you, and your core customers will actually start shopping more online than offline. For example, 2 of the largest fast fashion brands both have apps. You know the brand, you no longer want to go into their stores. Your favorite shoe brand or sports sneakers, you just buy it online. You look at the reviews, you know what the fit is like, and you just buy it. The point I'm trying to make is we need to realize that our core customers are actually moving online. And the online customer is no longer that tertiary customer who represents 6 and 7% of our brand. Return of product. There was a time when 45% of product bought online used to be returned. That's coming down tremendously. Today, we work with some brands where the returns are as low as 20 and 22%. Business targets for digital, again, must have to be a part of the overall business, okay? You can't say this has to be 8%. You've got to look at it as absolute numbers. Your core customer will continue to come to store, but the core customer will also end up shopping a lot of your products online. Websites are no longer for places or markets that you couldn't reach earlier. You can't say, I don't have a store in Amravati, Tumkur, and Hubli, and hence we must attract that customer online. In fact, we've noticed that the larger your catchment stores actually have more shoppers online because they already have a relationship with the brand. And real scale can be achieved anywhere. You don't need to be, you don't have to do 20 crores online. There are brands today doing 100, 150 crores. There are sportswear brands which are doing close to 40% of their national turnovers online. Before I finish, last thing, brand intimacy. Stop thinking that the online customer is a tertiary customer. It's like dhania that you buy when you go and buy sabzi. It's not that anymore. The core customer is online today. Yes, it is easy to switch brands for the online customer because your online customer is working on multiple tabs. So your online customer always has two or three tabs open, and they're constantly switching. But at the same time, the amount of information that you're able to get from an online customer helps you in retargeting, remarketing, and everything else. You've got so much more information on that customer. I think customers, as we go further, will have lower and lower need for... that's my last slide, sorry, Anish. There is a lower and lower need for human interaction today, and customers want more accurate information. It's good to work with micro-influencers with 20,000, 30,000 followers versus just working on a macro Bollywood celebrity who has a lot of followers but virtually no engagement. And lastly, I think there'll be a concept of click and collect stores. Zara has this in London. It's being tried out in Japan. It's successful in Latin America, where you can shop online. You go to this neighborhood little place. It's a dark store. You just drive up like a McDonald's delivery and go and pick up your product. Yeah. Before I end, I'd just like to leave you with a sher from Akbar Allahabadi. It goes like this. It says, दुनिया में हूँ, दुनिया का तलबदार नहीं हूँ. दुनिया में हूँ, दुनिया का तलबदार नहीं हूँ. बाजार से गुजरा हूँ, खरीदार नहीं हूँ. Thank you.